Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mama to a almost fourth grader. Today I really have some cool ideas for helping with emotional regulation and what I plan to implement in the upcoming school year as far as emotions are concerned and how we're going to stay regulated, how we're going to talk about emotions on a deeper level. And if you have a kid who may be ADHD or struggling with emotional regulation, this video is for you. Keep watching. Okay, so I'm also going to incorporate a little bit of a vlog within here as well, but I have found some really good nuggets of information in the last couple weeks that I just want to share and that might help you in some way, shape, or form. So I was listening to Allison Volkner. I'm probably not even saying the correct last name, but she was, if you knew Twitch, the dancer on the Ellen show, or the DJ, it's his wife. She was on a podcast recently and she talked about a lot about mental health and awareness and stuff like that. And something that really drilled home to me that I love that she talked about that makes so much sense is when we feel emotions in our body and we feel these like intense emotions and it comes out as like anger, let's say. A lot of times even us as adults are like, I'm so angry. And we process that with our spouse, significant other, someone like that, and we're always just like, I'm so angry, and then they're like, I'm sorry you're angry, and then it doesn't necessarily make us feel better all the time, right? Well, the reasoning behind that is because we're not in tune with our specific emotion. It's coming out as this like fiery anger, right? But then we need to think on like a deeper level, like, why are we angry? What is another word we can use for that? So she was explaining that her kids go to a school and it was one of the things that she absolutely loves about their school. And I'm going to try to incorporate in my homeschool, even though my child is older than her son that she was talking about this about, but I just don't even care. I think it's great. So every day when they walk into the school, they pick like a popsicle stick, and it's like these different shade of colors, and it's blue, green, yellow, and red. And blue stands for like, I'm kind of down, sad, depressed. And then green is like, I'm feeling good, I'm ready to go, I'm happy. And yellow is like, kind of somewhere in the middle there. And then red is like, I am not having a good day. And they take that popsicle stick and they kind of just leave it in like the jar. And so it's not like a conversation starter, but it's basically like, hey, I can see that the way I would incorporate that is if she came down here first thing in the morning before school and we just have like something set out on our school desk and she just takes it and puts it in a jar. That way I can see, okay, she's got a yellow one in there. She's kind of not feeling so great this morning. She's not horrible, but she's not great. And so I'm more aware of it without making assumptions. And I think as parents, we often are like the assumption queens because like we try to read their body language or their words and we're trying to like decipher and and sometimes it can be conversations, but not everyone is going to have the ability or capability to describe in detail their feelings or what they're feeling in the moment. So then the next step would be is identifying what that feels like. So I don't necessarily have to have a conversation about this. This is going to be something she's going to do. But she's going to go and she's going to take this yellow zone and she's going to compare it to a list of words in the yellow zone. Because if she has an anger moment during school, we can identify it. And I think a lot of adults don't even know how to identify what they're angry about as well. It could be as simple as, I just felt really embarrassed. Can you imagine, like, if you're an adult and you're just like so angry and you're flying off the hall and you tell your husband like, I'm just so mad at you, and the husband's like, okay, like, why? And you can say, I was embarrassed. So when you apologize to someone and you go, wow, I'm so sorry that I embarrassed you, or that you felt embarrassed, it's so much more of a personal apology or a personal conversation. It doesn't even have to be an apology, but it could be an acknowledgement or just like a conversation. And I think that setting kids up at an early age to really develop what their emotions are to the core, because so many people I hear, even like some of my friends, have struggled with finding their true emotions and their roots behind it. So I'm gonna find a way to implement this in our homeschool. I think that it'll be good for me and for her. Like, if I come down here and I'm having a bad day, she's feeding off that, but she doesn't necessarily know like why I'm having a bad day. So if I can express my root behind the way I'm feeling, it might help her in expressing the root behind how she's feeling. So hearing Allison talk about this on the podcast, it was just very eye-opening, right? And it just, I don't know, it seems so simplistic and things that we should have been teaching our kids all along. But I have a 9-year-old with anxiety who's had anxiety since very little. And like, I guess we've worked through those, but it's always just come across as I'm mad or I'm angry, and then maybe we'll have a conversation later and she can kind of sort of tell you, but it's never like as direct and in the moment, right? But this is going to make it so that they're having the conversations within themselves. They're questioning it. They're looking at the words that could possibly describe what they're feeling that they couldn't necessarily find the word to say. And because she has ADHD, she struggles with that emotional dysregulation. So, we are officially starting a medication, and we're going to see how that helps with that, and hope that we can get her back to feeling like her normal self, or as normal as what normal is. But I hope that this could give you an idea and kind of just like a place of going, you know what, like, we can be more empathetic if we know that someone's not in the mood. We could be more empathetic if we know that they're starting off the day like that, because we can then pause and go, you know what, we don't have to start school right now. We can go outside and go for a nature walk. We can take some breathing exercises. We can, there's other ways to just like make it so that's the top importance of the day, right? Because at the end of the day, when we become adults, we have to know how to filter through our emotions and how to deal with them. So that's like the second part of it, right? So it's going to have, once they identify, it's going to be like, what can I do to make myself feel better? And it's not going to be, what can mom do? Or what can dad do? Or can we give extra of this or extra of that? Or I just really want an ice cream bar, it will make me feel better. No. Like, we have to develop these skills and they have to develop these skills. And so trying to come up with that and kind of taking you out of the equation for them to kind of do it on their own, this is going to hopefully guide her, and then there could be conversation. But I think just like knowing where we stand first thing in the morning, it will help them so much later in life. And I seriously say this from a place of love, because I know friends, and I'm in my upper 30s, and some of my friends are even in their 40s and struggle with identifying that, because when you were a kid, you weren't necessarily taught it that way. We were just taught, I'm mad. What can I do when I'm mad? But what are you mad about? Are you just frustrated? Are you annoyed? Like, how can we develop these things and strategies and self-care and ways to either A, avoid them, or B, figure out how we're going to make it better. So I'm going, you know what, I said I was going to insert some vlog footage, but I'm going to actually make that a whole separate video. I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm going to be printing out to help with this, and where and how I'm going to infiltrate this into our school day next year, and possibly even as soon as the summer when we're not doing school. So I will keep you posted on that, and I might just post up some a picture, maybe the final result, but I'm going to have a whole separate video coming shortly on how I'm going to implement that. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I would love to start a conversation. If you have a child with ADHD and you're struggling with a child with emotional regulation, how you handle it, what are things that you help you along the way, or what are things that you realize don't help you. I am so curious, as this is very new for us, so please leave that all in the comments, and I'd love to chit chat.